Yo, yo. All right, you know how we do. We're gonna give it a few for everybody to get in here, and then we're gonna start on the topic. Let me get some water while we doing that. Hold on. I always forget the water. Y'all notice that? You're just getting in. I'll be right there. I'm just getting some water because I always forget that, and I know I like to talk. Oh, all right. All right. So before, even though we only got four people in here right now, when the rest get in here, they catch up. So before we even, and y'all can continue to, I, I I encourage y'all to continue to, you know, state your opinions in the chat like y'all doing. Um, but before I even my thoughts on the whole shit, I wanted to start off by saying or asking, I guess, what does sneaker of the year mean? Because that right there, before we even discuss or debate, I think that needs to be figured out because a lot of people, I feel like that could be different for a lot of people. You know, the definition was never necessarily clarified, and it's a pretty vague statement. So let me know what y'all think. We only got five in here, but six in here now. Hopefully, we get at least 10. This is a topic I would like to have, 20, 25 people. I've we've gotten there before. I forgot how many weeks ago that was. Was that last? I don't know if we got there last week. We've gotten into the 20s a couple of times, so hopefully we get in there. I was a little late with the promo, but um, yeah. So let me know what y'all think. Like, what I guess I'm asking. I don't know if I'm asking the question clear or not. Sneaker of the year. All right, let me go. Let me just see what y'all saying. Sneaker of the year is Slick Walks, Child 3. My sneaker of the year is Undefeated. Yeah, let me know what y'all think. What's that called? I don't know if I was clear on what I just said. Like, what does sneaker of the year mean? Um, and honestly, there might not be enough people in here for me to ask that. And if there ain't, I'm damn. Mm, had the bricks and sold them. That color's way too loud for me. Yeah, it's a very unique color. The bricks. And as far as like, yeah, you know what I mean. I definitely feel you. All right, we 4 minutes in. That's enough time for people to get in here. But I like I said, I don't want to keep putting off, but I wanted a little bit more feedback. So, do I just dive into it, or do we touch on some other topics before we get into it? I don't know. You know what y'all got for Christmas? Did y'all get any sneakers for Christmas? What's going on? How you doing? He said only people who tapped into the battle rap community gonna get the joke about my sneaker of the year. So is it really a sneaker of the year, or is it a joke? I want to hear both though. If you got a joking one, that only somebody into the battle, only somebody in the battle rap community would get. And then you got like a serious one I want to hear both, or if you dead ass like them, you know, because of that joke, or if that makes sense. I'm not heavy into battle rap. I fuck with battle rap, but I don't. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't consider myself a part of the community necessarily. Um, well, you know what I was gonna I was gonna I was kind of gonna discuss. I wanted to hear like what y'all thought sneaker of the year was, but then I also wanted to talk about mine. Um, but so we're definitely gonna get into that. I was trying to you know just chat around a little bit as more people got into here, so that I could get more feedback. But if we're gonna stay at like 4 to 5 people, that is what it is, and we're gonna make up that. But what's funny? I did not pay that parking ticket yet. um, I actually was gonna pay it online, and when I put the number in, like it wasn't showing up yet. So the way I'm looking at it is like, listen, yeah, I don't want me to pay the ticket. Y'all don't, you know, um, I don't have to. um, but yeah, I looked up online. It said that they take a couple of days for it to kick in. So I'm gonna check again in a couple of days and try to pay it, but nah, I ain't pay it. Uh, the joke is a brother was repackaging Steve Madden shoes, but called them slick walks at a super marked up price. Oh, that's why somebody in the beginning said, "Oh, I'm bugging. That's you." I was gonna say somebody in the beginning said the slick walks. That was you. Got it. Yeah, and I think I did a I don't know if I ever did that. Yeah, I low key should have just I low key should have did that. I don't know why I didn't think of doing that. Um, but I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to go live because I wanted to hear what everybody thought because so the interesting thing about I'm gonna just get into it at this point. We 7 minutes in, and I appreciate y'all being here. So what I asked before was, what does sneaker of the year mean? Like, what is the definition? And I feel like that right there is what causes a big like separation in people's opinions. Like, um, because you could look at it mad different ways. So some people are going to look at it as their just favorite shoe that released that year. Some people are going to look at it as like I don't know, the most hype shoe of the year, and some people are going to look at it as like I said, like people. I've seen people just over the years because I always I always like to have this discussion, whether it's in a live video, or I think one year I just put a video out, and I was just looking at people's comments and stuff. Whatever it is, I always have some type of discussion with somebody somewhere or a lot of different people about what sneaker of the year is, and I realized everybody has a different definition, and that's where people are gonna have. And there's nothing wrong with it's normal for people to have different opinions. Like the whole world is not gonna agree on what the sneaker of the year is, but I feel like there's just so many. Like even in the chat now, the few responses I've got, like I don't think I've seen the same answer twice. You know what I mean? Like a man said the slick walks. Somebody said Ja threes, undefeateds. Like excuse me, my bad, keep coughing. Um, I feel like there's always going to be that like wide range of answers because everybody has a different definition of sneaker of the year. So like to me, sneaker of the year is like a combination of a couple of things. Obviously. Now, I will say one thing. When I say sneaker of the year, my opinion is not included, and I'll get into that later on. Like my favorite pickup of the year or my favorite versus what I would consider sneaker of the year. I feel like sneaker of the year is something that is, like I said, it's not my personal opinion. My personal opinion, honestly, shouldn't really come into play when it comes to sneaker of the year. I feel like, I mean, it does a very little bit, but I feel like it's a general thing. A general, sneaker of the year for everybody in a way, if that makes sense. Like, because my favorite release of the year might not be the biggest release of the year, you know. But I feel like it's some sort of combination of. I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like sneaker of the year is kind of like it's not necessarily the most hype shoe of the year, but like in a way, it's kind of that. I mean, there's other factors that play into it, but yeah, there's actually a lot of other factors that play into it. But trying to think of a clear way to say this, um, or or a way to state the other factors that go into what makes a shoe sneaker of the year. Let me see what y'all saying before I continue. I don't have the Pink Awake fives. I actually didn't really like those that much. Like the only thing that made me think about getting them was I really like Bape. I have a lot of Bape, and the pink and red camo is really popular. They release a lot of stuff, you know, and with the pink and red camo. So I was thinking of like those fives go with that like perfectly, and I was thinking about getting them just to, you know what I mean, like go with that Bape pattern, but just that aside, just individually, I didn't really like the shoe, so I never got them. I got the black and blue shits though. Um, Yo, it was goody. Found me a good tee for the Statue of Liberty Kobe's. That's 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 a what's the word I'm looking for? Um, that's I don't want to say that's a tough find, but like that's not an easy shoe to get some shit for. So I'm glad you got something. I actually got something too. Um, it's in the I'm watching it right now, so it's not I can't like show y'all, but I got some shit too. So I'm curious as to what you got. Um, there you go. Boom bam. I appreciate that. Boom Bam said, "Don't overthink it. It's the shoe that is most anticipated and delivers on the expectation. On the expectation." I think that's a really good way to put it, um, because and yeah, you know what I mean. Because I want to say like a shoe, like there's definitely shoes that might have exceeded expectations and could be, you know, contender for there. Could be a contender for it. Fire Red Fives, yes. Yeah, I love Fire Red Fives. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that later. The WNBA, yeah, I didn't see, I didn't want to give my shit away, but since you put it out there, yeah. The shit I have is not the Liberty, but I actually said it in my video that it matches the Liberty stuff, and it could be a Breonna Stewart PE. And I didn't get it yet. Well, I got the other thing. I'm gonna just tell you, the other thing is a Knicks shirt, but it's got the Statue of Liberty on it, and it matches the Kobe's real well. But I'm also gonna get like a New York Liberty, maybe like a little T-shirt or a hoodie or something like that. Um, Probably some copper ish, you know, like a brown copperish color, the Nike Tech pants. That'll be like a little backup, more like calm, calm fit. Cause that Knicks tee I got is tough. That shit gonna be just fire. Can't wait to wear that. But yeah, back to what we was talking about. So for me, I when I did I touch on everything I wanted to touch on? I feel like I done bounced around so much. Yeah, I think I said everything. You know, the sneaker of the year is subjective to, you know, um, everybody has a different opinion on what it is, and that's gonna give everybody a different result. For me, I think where are these shits at? Because you know I had to. You knew that my well actually I sneaker of the year is not opinionated on necessarily your favorite, but in my opinion, the sneaker of the year was probably I already put them back in the bag. It's probably these. and it's not a clear cut winner because it really depends on how you look at it. But this is definitely it's one of these, honestly. And I think me putting these in there might be a little opinionated, and that's why I'm excuse me. That's why I'm kind of leaning towards these. But the reason I say is these is because like this. No, let me keep it up here. Let me just take it out because having it in the bag just looks. I don't know. It's not as aesthetically pleasing. I feel like these just like these were crazy, and they're not necessarily everybody's favorite, but I don't know. These were just big. Like the demand on these was insane. Um, I feel like I'm gonna just say put it this way: all four of those pairs that I have in the thumbnail, those I feel like were probably, in my opinion, the top four contenders for sneak of the year. Really, because of the popularity, the demand. I really feel like the demand is probably the most. Now that I'm thinking about it, well, I know I said a couple. I know I was trying to, find a clear definition a couple of minutes ago. The more I'm thinking about it, I think, to me, in my opinion, sneaker of the year is the shoe that really has the most demand at the end of the day. Like there's a few other factors that could go into it and skew the result a little bit, but like, and that's where like, I don't know if these had necessarily the most demand, but they were definitely, you know what I mean? Like it's got to be a shoe that has heavy demand. And this shoe is just so wanted, and just looking at like just looking at like the market and stuff and the way this shoe sold, like you could just tell like it was really really in demand. And the reason I said it's a little opinionated is because like, and that's why I try when it goes to sneaker of the year, I try to keep my personal opinion of the actual shoe out as much as I can. But I feel like with these, it was just like this shoe was so iconic. Like to sneakerheads, to people who've been sneakerheads, for a long time, like I have. Um, you've known about this shoe for 2 decades, and it was always this like untouchable, ungettable shoe. Whether you really wanted them or not, like these were always like. I remember like when I first got into shoes, like the undefeated fours were just like I don't know if they were always like a 30K ish shoe, but I just remember like whatever they went for, like it was just a price where I was just like, oh yeah, like I ain't getting those. You know what I mean? Like and they just never came out. They were always this like, you know what I mean? Like they were just one of those shoes that like there were so few pairs made. Um and they didn't release. And so to finally get this shoe to release this year was crazy. The demand on it was heavy. Everybody wanted them. And the thing about the shoe is, besides that whole like shit I just said about them being the undefeateds and the the friends and family or sample or whatever you want to call it, 2000 five pairs, just being something you could just look at online and look at on Flight Club for thousands of dollars that we knew we wasn't buying. It's also a really nice looking shoe. It's a really attractive shoe. Like I know like some people that don't know anything about the history of the shoe and they see these and they're like, oh, those is fire. Like I feel like we as sneakerheads definitely overrate the appearance just a very little bit because of how iconic the shoe is, how hard it was to how impossible, I'm gonna say impossible, it was to like get this shoe before this year's release. I feel like that definitely comes into play a little bit, but this is still a really nice looking shoe. You can I know like in a way it's just like it's just like an all red shoe. It's a it's a weird shade. It's not, I don't want to say weird, but it's like a non-ideal shade. It might be hard to match, but like these are sexy. Now I'm not really going to get into detail on like which one is more attractive or which one I like better. Because it's really not, like I said, all about my opinion, but I just feel like one of these got to be sneaker of the year. Um, let me actually, before I pick up the gamers, let me see what y'all saying. Good find for the codes, bro. If you remember, I was asking about the vid styling them, so I had to follow up. Oh, facts. I remember we was talking about that in one of the last lives. But now I'm glad you got some shit. You know, like this year you can have top 10 way too much. See, facts like that's another thing too. Like your thoughts about the sneaker of the year needs to be versatile and accessible. See, that's Boom Bam 9962. That's what I was kind of talking about earlier. Like I've seen people say like the shoe needs to be accessible. And I don't, in my opinion, as far as sneaker of the year, I don't think it needs to be. I don't think it has to be accessible because, um, I mean, as a sneakerhead, I don't like when a shoe is hard to get. I mean, part of me does like that. Part of me is gravitates to that, but nobody likes having to do the most or having to pay extra money for another pair of shoes. So I always appreciate a shoe, being easy to get, but I don't think like for sneaker of the year, I don't think it necessarily has to be like a GR. Because I've also seen people see that, and I respect the opinion. I just don't agree with it personally because I feel like like Brick by Bricks, for example, these weren't like impossible to get, but I mean for retail, no. Let me take that back. For retail, these you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm sure some people hit for retail, but it wasn't like an easy shoe for people to hit for retail. And I can see some people say, well, that shoe wasn't accessible or not necessarily these. I remember whatever year the trophy rooms came out, it was at 2021. And that shoe to me, that shoe was by far a sneaker of the year. Like nobody could tell me um it was definitely sneaker of the year. I'm not even gonna say by far because I can't even. I'm trying to think of what the runner up would be. I'm not even gonna get into that right now. But 2021 or was that the year? The let me look it up. My I can't just I gotta clarify, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. I'll be knowing my years when it comes to the shoes. Trophy room, but I gotta for my own satisfaction. I gotta just double check. Come on, my phone is tweaking. Yeah, 2021. So 2021, I felt like Trophy Room Ones was sneaker of the year. That demand and that hype and that all of that commotion around, Marcus Jordan and the backdooring and all of that shit just put it over the top. And I remember a lot of people saying like, no, they're not sneaker of the year because, they weren't accessible. They weren't, um, a lot of people weren't able to get them, which I understand. I don't think that was fair to, us as consumers, but um, the fact that happened and there was so many people that thirsty for them to the point where they were selling for $2,000 or whatever the fuck they was like. I think that is kind of why they were sneaker of the year. And I'm not saying the sneaker of the year has to be the most expensive shoe or the shoe that people spend the most money on, but like just the demand, the thirst, the you know and I know like recency bias plays a role into it too because when I think about like demand and hype and shit, I cannot get over how crazy people went over these, especially when I thought these was gonna be a walk in the park. Like, yeah, if y'all saw my review on these, I'm talking about like, yeah, gamers is gonna be, I don't know why the market's so high, which I still don't know why the market was that. I still don't know why these did as crazy as they did. It's a nice shoe. I know they went crazy in 2013, but just with the amount of shoes, with the amount of pairs that they made for these, like these had no business, being as crazy as they were. They did go down. The price did go down, after the restocks and stuff. But just in general, like they just did not. They performed way better. As far the demand for these, the demand exceeded the supply. More for these than I way more for these than I thought. Um, but I don't know if I would say they're sneaker of the year necessarily. I still feel like I don't know they're up there for sure, and that's why you know what I mean. That's why I'm mentioning them. That's why I have them out here right now. But I still think the bricks of the undefeateds might have did it. The undefeateds, like I said, they didn't have the demand that the bricks did, or I would even say low key the gammas. I feel like the gammas probably have more demand than the undefeateds, to be honest. But I just feel like the that colorway actually releasing plays a big role, and that's what puts it up there. Like those are arguably, like I said, if I had to, if I put bricks at one, I'm putting undefeateds at number two. To be honest, let me see what let me see what else y'all say because I stopped reading after I read bro's comment. Bro, with everything I haven't worn my brick by bricks yet, just waiting to keep them nice, and I pay resale and all. Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm all about wear your sneakers, and I encourage. I'm gonna be the I'll be the first person to tell you like nah wear them shits like all these shits behind me these are shoes that I wear these is not shits that I'm holding to resell like I wear my shits y'all know that if y'all pay attention to me y'all know I wear my shits and I always tell people wear your shoes because they're gonna crumble one day they're gonna re-release one day like I always tell people that however there are certain colorways that I'm not saying not to wear the bricks, but you got to be cautious on when and where you wear them. And because they are, you know, so expensive to rebuy. You know, if they were a shoe that went for $200, I wouldn't even speak on them like this. I'd be like, fuck it, wear them. If you fuck them up, sell them and get another pair. Um, or, you know, get them cleaned or whatever. But a shoe like that, and you still could get those clean. You still could sell them and get another pair. But you know it's just the pain and you know the more expensive a shoe is you know it's just even more of a pain to go through that I mean it depends but nah I feel you especially when you paid the resale for them you know you don't want to because I didn't hit no pairs of those for retail so luckily I bought them before the price went crazy like I paid three something for mine like 320 330 or something like that um because I had gotten I got a pair. I forgot what I paid for my early pair to review, but the pair that I had early was a size 10, and I didn't want to, you know, I'm a 9.5, so I, you know, didn't want to keep the 10. Um, so I bought a 9.5, but I paid like I said, like 330 or something like that, for them, and I tried to hit for retail. I bought that 9.5 just on some like backup shit because I knew I wanted them by then, and I didn't know if I was gonna get them for retail. I didn't have a plug, you know, I didn't have a retail plug for him, so I what's that called? I didn't have a plug that was gonna give him to me for retail, so that's what I, you know, that's why I just I got that pair on some just in case shit, and it was a good move because they came out. I didn't hit no pairs for retail, and then the price shot up to I forgot what it was first day 350 400 and then I when I seen how they went up, I started to think. Well, first I seen how they went up, and I was just glad that I got my pair. You know, I had my 9.5. I sold that 10 once the price went up. But I remember when I sold that 10 and I seen how them shits went up some more. I was like, fuck, like I should have held on to the 10. So I got what's that called? Did I get an? I don't even remember what size I got next. But I seen what the bricks was doing, and anyway, like without getting into that, I feel you. um, because yeah, what else? What else? What else? If they made 80,000 bricks, I think they would have bricked from a resale standpoint. Yeah, I mean that's a shoe that, like, if they didn't have, like, when you just look at the shoe, they're nice. Don't get me wrong, but if they didn't have the whole, I mean, they're cool because they got, you know, they're unique. Like they threw this little shit on them that's not normal, and not that I don't think any of us really gave a fuck about that. The toe is, you know, different, a unique material, but you know, you had the bike air on the back, like that was different. That caught a lot of people's attention. But yeah, I mean, I feel at the end of the day, if you make enough pairs of any shoe, they're gonna sit. So yeah, you're definitely right. Damn, the bottom of these is clean. And I wore these shits too. I think I wore these. once or twice, but I wore them on a date. Now maybe I wiped the bottoms a little bit because them shits is clean. I don't know. Actually, I went to where I wore them at was a nice little clean area, so it don't even matter. I'll be going off on tangents. Y'all can't let me go off on these tangents like that. Yo, I'm glad you bought. Where my shit stand? The boxes over there. I had to throw the, but I'm gonna pull them out just because you said that. Who is that? Maya Lynn. Oh! I'm about to make a mess of him. And before we continue, I'm glad Maya Lynn said that because I couldn't figure out what shit I like better. And I really didn't want to do this, but it actually worked out with my fit. Y'all can clown me if y'all want. But I definitely did the one white lace, one red lace. Real quick, what's better, white laces or red laces in these shits? Because I remember when I got these. I remember when I was about to wear them. It was bro's birthday. We was going out to dinner, and I had a fit for him. Fit was cool, but I didn't know what like laces I wanted to put in them. I didn't know what I didn't know which I like better, just period. And then I didn't know which went better with the fit. It was kind of like a either one. So I remember I laced one of each and sat these out just like this, just to look at them. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna figure out which one I like. All day I'm looking at these shits, I couldn't figure it out. Time coming for me to get dressed, and I just said fuck it and wore them like this. So I don't really love doing one. Actually, I ain't gonna lie. If it looked good, it looked good. It's just something about the all red, and then I don't know. I would have liked to just do both, either like this or both like this. But um, let me see what y'all think. Uh, what else should I say? Shout out to Davao City, Philippines. Been watching events for the AJ4 undefeated view. How do I say that? The How do I say that? Davao. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But now, appreciate you. Shout out to you, Davao. I think it's either Davao or Davao. So, like I said, I hope I didn't mispronounce that. But good looking, yo. Definitely appreciate that because y'all don't know how much I love doing this YouTube shit. So, y'all watching me means so much. Excuse me. The gammas were hit up like the Metallic Files. Caught me by surprise. Facts. Them gammas, like, I couldn't believe that shit. Like, still, to this day, I don't understand why the fuck they. Oh, let me keep reading. See, it'd be hard. I love to respond to everything, but then I'll be wanting to read what I ask. Fuck it. We gonna keep going. Let me just put this back. I got too many shoes out. Shit making me claustrophobic. Yeah, them shits definitely caught me by surprise. The Metallics too. The Metallics. Now you mentioned that, them shits. I'm definitely 100% with you on that. He said I'm inspiring you to throw them more. Yo, throw them more, man. Throw them more. The only thing is, I don't know where you located at, but like where I'm at right now, if you anywhere near, if you're in the Jersey, New York area, I'd pump the brakes on wearing them. I'm not gonna lie, and not to contradict myself, but kind of goes back into what I was saying earlier. Like you kind of got to know when and where to wear them. And with all this shit on the ground right now, it's not a good time to wear a shoe like that. That's hard to clean. Like I always say, if you're gonna wear sneakers, and this is only if you got like snow on the ground right now. When it snows and you got like snow on the ground and salt, try to wear shoes that are like leather and rubber, or basically just shoes you can clean easily. And leather and rubber are your shoes to clean, because with snow on the ground, It's very easy. I mean, it's just obvious. I mean, like there's just mad. You're walking on the ground. There's a lot of wet shit. So when you're walking and the ground is wet, the snow is melting and there's water on the ground. When you're walking, the back, so like the water on the ground, when you walk, you walk, you lift your foot up. Yeah, and y'all probably seen this on your shoes before. The water is gonna start to ride up here. And you'll notice if you wear a pair of shoes like this, whether it's rain or snow, when you walk on a wet ground, on a wet surface, after a while you're gonna start to notice there's gonna be a little splash of water up here, depending on how much you walk, depending on how high you lift your foot and stuff. But you don't want that on these. If you do it on a pair of shoes like even like the Gammas, like it's okay, but not. I mean, you don't want it on your Gammas either. But with this, if you get like that little bit of water right there, um, you just wipe it off. Like I said, you don't want it there, but it's a lot easier to deal with on something like this than you know something like this, and that's why I said rubber or leather, because I mean like I said, this is okay. This is patent leather, but ideally, like I'm trying to think of a shoe that I got. I don't even got a shoe out right now. All right, like, and here's the thing about ones, like something like this. You get that little shit right there. You just wipe this off. The thing about ones, this little part right here, these little like grooves in here are so fine that sometimes, like, if the water that is dirty and you get like that dirty water right there, sometimes the dirt kind of like sits in there and you kind of got to put a little elbow grease into cleaning the shit. So that can kind of be annoying too. But yeah, something like that is definitely, you just want to make shit easier for yourself. If you clean your shoes, you want to make the cleaning job easier. And if you don't clean your shoes, you want to not wear shoes that is gonna have that like permanent stain there. But shit, if they ain't no snow on the ground where you at, they ain't no water yo, wear them shits. And if there is, as soon as that ground dries up and there's no snow on the ground, there's no salt on the ground, pull them bitches out. I just remembered I went on that whole shit. I was real. We're talking about the Kobe's. The Kobe's a little different because of the material they got on the back. Man, wear them shits. Do I still got? I don't think I got my. Nah, they over there. I don't feel like getting them. But nah, that Kobe's material, you be alright. I mean, I wore my Grinches the other day, and it was most definitely snow and salt on the ground. I don't like to do that, but you'll be fine if you do that. I love how you keep it on. I appreciate you. I love to keep on it. I like the trophy room runs. What do you think about the blue laces? Blue laces on the bricks. Uh, I don't. I don't like it. Red, yeah. White, yeah. Um, even so, like, oh damn, I put them away already. So, well, yeah, that's about it. I don't see me fucking with any other color in them really. Um, I was gonna say, Nike canceled my order of the Nigels, so it just not meant to be, I guess. Yo, man, I feel you. Like, I'm the type of person where, depending on how bad I want to shoot, there's some shoes where I'm like, nah, I need them no matter what. I gotta pay for them. And then there's some shoes where I'm like, yeah, if I get them for retail, cool. Or I mean, we all are like that. I feel like we're not we all. I know some people who only do retail, but I feel like we all have our ceiling on what we would pay for a particular shoe. Um, but there are plenty of releases where I'm like, yeah, if I don't have for retail, I'm good. But there are some releases where I may even be down to pay more than retail for them. But if I have a situation where like I hit for retail and Nike cancels my order, that shit just puts like a bad taste in it. Like that should just makes you sick. Depending on how bad you wanted the shoe, And I ain't gonna lie, like sometimes it's just like, man, fuck it, I don't even want them shits no more. Like I was supposed to get them for retail, like you know what I mean. So, uh I hate that. They need to stop doing that shit. Like what kills me is too, Nike's always fucking restocking. Like so, I don't like. Well, I mean Nigel's. I don't. I think they. I'm trying to think. See, like, yeah, I don't know. It's tough because I feel like that's a shoe that like yeah it was limited, so maybe they sold all their pairs out. But like, man, I be hearing Nigel still doing pop ups with them shits. Like, where them shits coming from? I mean, maybe they're not coming from Nike. Maybe Nigel just has them somewhere. So I could just be chatting. But nah, I feel that man. Like that would blow my shit. But then like, yeah. Um, Metallic Files. Yeah, Metallic Files up there. That's why I put them bitches in the thumbnail. And while we got them, and the black laces on these shits, crazy. Yeah, these is up there. These shits cause problems. Like I did not expect them to be that much. Um, can you speak on your experience with Goat, man? I just ordered some Archive 17, paid the instant shipping for them to email me saying they won't be shipped till next month. Oh, uh, I've it depends. I mean, I've had uh, a couple of experiences with Goat. You know, I've sold a lot of pairs on there. I bought a lot of pairs on there. Um, and most of my transactions were almost all of them. Let me not say most of them. 90 something percent of them were fine, but we did have a few hiccups. I don't know if you see my videos about them. I actually had a really really crazy situation with Goat, and I almost stopped fucking with them completely. But they after I put that video out, they rectified it, and I was still hesitant to fuck with them after that, but I started to, and ever since everything's been good. Um, but it depends on like what experience you want me to talk about. But just in regards to what they did to you, um, I've never experienced nothing like that. Oh, I'm stupid. You're probably asking me because I fucking did a video about the instant ship with Go. So let me talk about that because that's probably what you're talking about. Um, yeah, I'm not thinking clearly. Um, so that was a long time ago when I had I had an issue with instant ship a long time ago. My problem with it was I bought some shoes like I needed them in a rush, and so I paid extra. Obviously, you pay extra for the instant ship, and they shipped them instantly. Like they shipped them I think within 24 hours or whatever. But the problem was the shits was coming from like China, like Hong Kong or something like that. Um, so that really pissed me off because by the time, like it was instant ship, but I wasn't gonna receive it at the time that I really wanted it at. So once I realized how their instant ship worked, where um, you know, I'm buying the shoe instantly, but you can't. I don't know where I'm buying it from. So like I said, it's just basically you're gonna ship it instantly, but that doesn't. There's no guarantee on when I receive it. I didn't like that. Now I know that, like I said, that was years ago, and I know now Goat has a thing where on instant ship you can pick like you know, there's like options for like when you receive it. Now, if you pick the option and it exceeds that date by like a month or whatever, like you gotta be able to get some kind of like money back or like at least some kind of credit. So their customer service really isn't the greatest. Well, I mean, like I said, I still appreciate them. I still appreciate somebody there helped me out. So there are some good people there, but you can get some really bad people, not bad people, but you can get some really not so great customer service reps there. So you got to have patience, but I would definitely reach out, send them an email. Unfortunately, the only way to really get in contact with them is email. And they're gonna give you the runaround. It's gonna, like, when I say that, it's like it starts off with it's gonna take a while to even get somebody. Like, I know it's after Christmas now, so it might have calmed down, but like, I sent them an email about something like last week, and like it took them so long to like. It took them like days to get with somebody. Like, I got the automated response right away, and then I got an email like, I don't know, like the next day, like, oh, we're really busy right now. Something, something, something. Like, anyway, like I said, I got an answer to what I needed. Before I actually ended up just pulling up to the drop off center and figuring it out. But yeah, I'm saying all that to say, like, you got to have patience. But if that's the case, if you paid for instant shipping and you're not getting them for a month, I'm assuming it's probably because they're coming from a different country, and there's probably something with the tariff. You know how that works now. So, but with that being the case, they have to be able to give you something back. So, definitely reach out to them, and I hope they don't make it too difficult, and can give you your money back, and maybe hopefully even like a little credit, free shipping, or a little $15 credit, something like that. But just be patient, and I don't know if you know how to. Yeah, I mean, just be patient, and like I said, be patient and persistent. That'll you should be able to get your shit. I mean, I could trade or sell my wildlife features and black cat for it, but I'm not gonna get rid of two for one shoe. But you let me know if I'm tripping. That all depends. That's always like that's all on your opinion. So the way I see it is, it kind of depends. It depends on a few things. It depends on how bad you like the brick by bricks versus, the wales and the black cats. Um, but it also depends on what was I gonna say? My bad, I just had a brain fart. I was thinking about some other shit real quick. Um, oh, and it also depends on like how what's the word? So I guess the best way to say is like how much you depend on them. For example, like if you have a lot of sneakers, if you have a good amount of sneakers to the point where like you have enough where you can get through the week or whatever. Like if you have enough sneakers, then it doesn't matter as much. But if you don't have as many sneakers, let's just say you only have 10 pair of sneakers, two for one is kind of crazy, regardless of what the shoe is. Like if you got 10 pair of sneakers, which is like a probably regular normal amount of sneakers, um, you don't two for one is just it just kind of seems like a lot. Now if you got like 30 plus pair of shoes and you really like the brick by bricks, then it's not really that bad. I mean, I'm just throwing numbers out there. I don't. you don't have. I'm not saying you have to, say no if you got 10 or less. These are not like hard numbers. I'm like I said, I'm just throwing numbers out there. But I think it kind of depends on, like I said, how much you like the shoe, and how much you would depend on those two that you're giving up for. Because like if you have a lot of shoes and you really like the bricks, I don't think that's crazy at all. I don't think you'd be tripping at all to do that. Um, but like I said, if you don't have, you know, a whole lot, if you don't have like an excess amount if you don't have an excess amount of shoes, then no, then I'm with you. It doesn't make sense to do two for one. Even if the even if the brick by bricks cost more, it's like black cats are everydays. They're essentials. Like you can wear those with anything. You're not doing that with brick by bricks. You can't wear those I mean, you can wear. They're hard. Brick by bricks are really hard to wear every day. Having a fit that matches those, it's tough. Whereas like the black cats, you can wear those every day, all the time. Maybe not in all weather, but like you know what I'm saying. There's a lot you can get a lot of wears out of those, and then you still got the pair. So like I said, it depends on all that. I'm probably alone on this, but Nigel Jordan 1 low is better than the bricks. Yeah, I mean, I'm not with you on that. I'm sure there's somebody else out there that agrees, but I completely disagree. Also, good are experiencing delays due to holidays. Yeah, definitely. A few of my items aren't being delivered by. So I sold some shoes on Goat, and like I always drop off at the drop off center, and usually when I drop the shoes off, they're authenticated like that day. There's sometimes, and it's really like only this time of the year, like the holiday season, where I was gonna say other than like this time of year and shit, um, it's usually within a day, unless I drop it off like, you know, late in the day. Sometimes I get there, 5 minutes before they close. And sometimes in those situations, it'll get authenticated like the next morning. But even then, usually I can drop it off right before they see when they close for people dropping off is not when they close their business. So like if I drop it off 5 minutes before closing time for me to drop it off, they I don't know what time their employees leave, but like it can still get authenticated that day. If yeah, I get what I'm saying. But um last week I dropped them off like the hour they opened. Like no, not I think I was there like 10 minutes after they opened, if I remember correctly. So I dropped them off and I'm not even thinking about the holidays and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to get my bread. Like I'm dropping them off early. I'm definitely getting it today. And I dropped off like a bunch of pairs. So like I was just like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna have like, all of this today. And I keep checking the Go app, checking the Go app. They all like delivered or alias, whatever. And I'm just like, what's going on? Like, um, and I didn't get my payout until the next day. Like, so yeah, I mean that's not that crazy of a delay, but that's the type of I haven't ordered nothing from them, but it's definitely the same thing. And the holiday season is tough. Like they are a business that is going to experience high volume, and you know people be wanting to take off during the holidays. They want to travel. They want to be with their loved ones during the holidays. So like, are they? So I get it, but yeah, that sucks. I hope none of them shits was Christmas gifts, and I hope you didn't need them any earlier. Yeah, that's happened to me before. Put up an offer or some shit, and then yeah, I remember one time, um, this was ass. I put up an offer for some shit in two different sizes. Like I only put it on two different sizes because like obviously I only needed one, but I was just gonna like I put them on both because I was okay with either size. So I get a notification that one bid gets accepted, and before I could go cancel the other shit, they accepted the other shit too. I was mad as hell because there's nothing I could do about it, and I ended up with two of them shits, but it was cool. ACG Splurge, appreciate you. Shout out to the resellers. Brick by bricks, not even top 10 in my opinion. Yeah, it's opinionated, but what do you think is sneaker of the year? Oh, and since we kind of got over that, now we want to talk about my favorites of the year. I gotta say, just off the top of my head, Fire at Fives because it's Fire at Fives. I love the Fire at Fives, one of my favorites, and they finally did them, you know, OG style. Crazy thing is for me, the real nostalgia for me is the 2006 Fire at Fives, which aren't, which are a little different. They have more of that 2013, the 2000. I'm sorry, 2005, 2006 Fire at Fives. Um, they are almost identical to the 2013 pair. So even though the 2006 pair is where the real nostalgia is for me, I still like the way the OG font on the 23 looks, and the Nike Air on the back. So seeing those in that form this year was definitely probably my favorite. It's in my personal favorites of this year is either those or the undefeateds. And the only reason I would possibly put the undefeateds over the Fire Reds or even next to them as far as like my personal favorites of the year is because we never got the undefeateds before. I like the new Fire Red fives. Like I said, I like the OG look on them. I've never had them in the OG style with the OG font and the Nike Air on the back. So that was exciting. But I've had the 2006 and the 2013 release. So um, I've never had the undefeated fours though. So getting those for the first time, I was in love with those. I still am in love with them. But like when I first got them, I was like, nah, I love these. So um, I might have to say that was my favorite release of the year. But we got to put Fire Reds up there. Another thing, I'm just thinking. Um, over black metallics. If you're asking me Fire Reds over black metallics, yeah, absolutely. I love Fire Red fives. I like metallics, but like metallics is fire. But to me, no five is fucking with the Fire Reds, especially no OG five. I had 2006 Fire Reds. I paid 250 back then because I break down six. H-Town 11s are hard as fuck. Those and Miami Jordan 3s are my favorite pickups. My personal phase, Mystic TL95, Temples, Raven, Diamond, Turks. I can't forget Neon 95s at the pay resale though. Yeah, I'm trying to think of non-Jordans right now. It's also hard. I be forgetting I feel like I be forgetting about releases. Um, you know what else I really liked? I don't know if this is in my top. I mean, like, yeah, I can't even. I just thought of Tokyo's. I love Tokyo's, but I can't even say that's one of my favorites. Only because like I don't like them really any more than the 2011 pair, and my 2011 pair was good, so I was kind of a little bothered that they re-released those. Um, but I do love Tokyo's. I love Galaxies too, but Galaxies kind of blew my shit also because my Galaxies, that's not even a shoe that's gonna crumble. So like, I really didn't need them to re-release those, so that kind of blew my shit. But it's the Galaxies, you know what I mean? Like second best phone posit ever, in my opinion. So um, I can't, I can't. Yeah, it's weird, but I can't. Those in the Tokyos is just like they just not up there for me for that reason. Um, but trying to think what else I liked. Bread ones was cool, but um, they were just weird about the way they released those. And like that's another shoe. Like I didn't really need them. I thought it was cool to get them with the 85 cut, but I like them better than the 2016 pair. But they just weren't. They didn't. They didn't. You know, they cool. I'm trying to think what else I like this year. I said Awake Fives. I think I did. Brick by Bricks. I like Brick by Bricks. Those was cool. Those are one of my favorites. They might. I guess they top 10 for me for this year. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else. What would help? Let me look through my videos because I feel like I'm forgetting about stuff. Or I could look at your comments. Y'all probably saying some good shit. Um, oh yeah, how about the Soul Threes? Um, shit, let's see. I could look at. Let's see. Yeah, let me just look at my videos. Yeah, I think I might have named my faves. Let's see. Yeah, I think that might be it. So yeah, my favorite of the year, my personal favorite is probably Undefeateds. It's between Undefeateds and Fire Reds. Like I said, I'm leaning towards Undefeateds because I've just never had that shoe before. So I really like that they actually dropped those. Like the excitement of just getting that shoe for the first time probably puts them a little bit over the top. But and I'm looking at it's crazy. I'm looking at both of them right now. The Fire Reds, baby. I just I just love those. But yeah. So yeah, that's really what I wanted to really what I wanted to talk about. Um, I'm just thinking about it. But yeah, Grade Five. Grade Five's up there for me too. It's just like Grade Fives. Um, nah, I love Grade. I mean, yeah, if y'all seen my review, y'all heard me talk about yeah, y'all heard me talk about how much I love the Grade Fives. I don't like them as much as the Fire Reds, but love the grapes. I can't wait until like because Grape Five, Fire Red Fives too. But like these are shoes that like they're white that people are gonna dog their shits. I can't wait until like a year or two from now, where not as many people have clean pairs. Cause I'm not wearing my shits. I ain't gonna lie, I wore both my shits early, but um I picked up a backup DS pair that's just sitting in the box. I'm actually probably gonna sell my early worn shits because I ain't even going. I'm gonna give them a rest right now while people's pairs are still clean. Well, I don't think grapes is still in store. Fire Reds might still be in some stores. Um, yeah, I'm gonna let all that simmer down. Give it like a year or two. I'm gonna bust my shits out. They're gonna be crisp, white ass laces, no flaws. It's gonna be beautiful. Um, You know what it is about the Soul threes? Like the soul, and the. I know they're spelled like Seoul, but I've heard they're actually pronounced Soul. But the Soul, the SOLE on the SEOUL threes, um, I feel like that is the downer for those. Overall, I still fuck with them. I got them. But they would have been a lot better with if they would have did something different with the midsole. I think they would have been a lot better. I almost grabbed the like I think the old shits is the only thing about the old shits is the old shits is too white on the midsole. Like now that I realize they always doing too much on the midsole with them shits. That's their problem. If they would have freaked the midsole a little better on either of them. But the upper, that's what it is about the. I'm gonna just speak on the new shits because I don't own the first pair, but the upper on the new shits, crazy. I don't know why I can't really like the lows don't I don't know why lows don't do it for me. A lot of people fuck with lows at all. You know it's crazy? The only low ones that I have is Travis Scott's. And that's crazy because um I didn't even like I didn't like no Travis Scott's like let me not say I didn't like any of them at first. Well, when they first came out, like when the Moguls came out, I didn't like either of them. But um, like I just feel like I never liked low ones, and when I didn't like Travis Scott's when they came out, and then they dropped the fragments, and I liked them. I think that's why I was like, "What the hell is going on? Why do I like? Why did I not like these before? But I like this colorway, and these are low. Like I didn't like the highs, but I like it just threw me all off. But I don't know why. That's just me though. But all right, y'all, I appreciate y'all tuning in. I think I'm about to go get something to eat because I'm hungry. I usually eat before the live, but rookie of the year lows. I don't know what it is about the lows. Like, you know what I think it is about low ones. I mean, it's two ways to look at this. One thing is, um, for me, I feel like if they have a high version, I'm not even gonna be able to fuck with the low because I like the high. I like the Jordan 1 high silhouette so much better than the low. That like any of these colorways, that have a high top version, just for me, I just wouldn't. To me, there's no point of owning the low if I have the high, and if the high exists, and I like the high a lot better. Um, but even like if they have colorways that don't exist in high, like I don't know what it is. I think I just don't like the Jordan 1 low silhouette, which is weird because I don't really feel the same way about low dunks. Like low dunks is and they're very obviously they're not the same. They're similar, but they're similar enough to the point where I don't know why I like one and not the other. So I've been trying to figure that out for the longest. But like every time they drop a pair of low ones, I'm just kind of like, all right. Except for the Travis Scott fragments. Do you know what's crazy though? I seen them pink Travis Scott shits, and listen, I don't know which ones are releasing. I've seen three colorways. Um, so we'll see which ones are releasing, but there's one colorway that I really, really like. I heard that one is not releasing, so if what I heard is true, that's unfortunate, but shit, I'll fuck around and see what that friends and family price is, or what the sample price is, Um, I actually got I could get um some of the samples now, but I just I don't even want to get into this. Well, I'm gonna get into it. Fuck it. um, I don't. I'm all about well, obviously from the right sources. Um, you know, I'm more with early pairs. I have a good idea, a pretty good idea on how how the whole thing works. So kind of I think I'm pretty good at how do I word this? I think I'm pretty good at navigating my way through getting those. Yeah, I guess that's a good way to say it. But with that, I've like I don't fuck. So I'll fuck with early shoes if I can get them from certain sources. And there's just I don't get early shoes just from anywhere. And I really don't fuck with early samples because here's the thing. Wait, um, yeah, them pink shits is crazy. Um, Yeah, I was gonna get off and then look at me chatting again because yeah. I love that though. Like I'll stay on here all night if we keep talking. Um, what I was gonna say. Fuck, fuck. Oh, early samples. So I really do want these pink shits, but like I said, I heard they're not gonna release. They may be a friends and family sample. So if that's the case, as long as they not like super duper expensive, I might have to grab those, but we'll see because the thing about early samples is a sample pair can differ from the release pair in damn near any way, the same way a pair of fakes can. So it's like you already got to be careful with samples in general because like for example, I could know, I'm just picking these up for example. I could know these really well, but then maybe there's a sample pair out there that has a slight difference, you know. And basically, I've heard. Oh, here's another thing. So samples are made. No, that doesn't even matter. Basically, I've heard that people make fakes of shoes that are supposed to release like before they release and they'll put a sample tag on them. That way, when the shoe releases, and maybe they're not exactly like this early fake pair, the it makes sense because they have a sample tag. You get what I'm saying? Whereas if I have a release, I mean, not that I want to get a pair of shoes and have them early, thinking that I got the real shit, and then not find out until afterwards that they was fake. But at least you'll find out at some point. Whereas if you have a sample tag on them, it's way harder to prove that the shoe is fake. So that is enticing to a unethical I that's enticing to an unethical person. So yeah, y'all see what I'm getting at. So anyway, um I don't I don't want no fakes. You know what I mean? And like I said, I trust my sources, but it's just in general, it's besides that whole thing I just explained. I don't like sample pairs for that reason, because like unless the chain, like especially when I don't know what the difference is. If the shoe came out already and you got a sample pair and I can see what the difference is, there's two things about that. Number one, it'll be a little easier for me to tell if the shit is real or not. And number two, well, a lot easier, if the shoe, if the shoe is released already. And number two, um, like I I'll be so used to the way the regular shoe looks, the difference will stand out to me, and I can kind of dictate whether I like it or not. Whereas like an early sample, it's just like you're just putting a blindfold on, and just, you know what I mean. Like I don't know how these shits might differ when they release. They might, you know what I mean. They might release, and I might like the release shits better. Now I'm stuck with these samples that's gonna be harder to sell when the shoes come out, and when I want the real version, so the regular release version. So um, as bad as I want those, I'm resisting from getting them because there's only sample pairs out right now. And like I said, with the source that I would be getting them from, I'm I'm sure I'm sure I'd be fine, but it's just no. Mm, I want that. I need to see. I need to officially know. I'm not know. I think or I heard. I need confirmation on what pairs is releasing and what pairs is not. And if the pink pair that I really want is not going to release, I need to figure out, is it friends and family, or are there just sample pairs, and then move accordingly. And here's the fucked up thing though too. There's like I said, there's three colorways. Another one of the three colorways, not my favorite. I don't like this one quite as much. I don't like the other two as much as the pink, and they're like pink and they got some tan in them. Well, I think they all got some pink and tan. But anyway, the pair that I guess I like, there's another pair. The second pair I'm talking about, they have a red swoosh on them. The first pair that I'm talking about had like a tan sail swoosh. So this pair with the red swoosh, I don't like them as much. However, remember earlier, if y'all been in here the whole time, I was talking about the Awake Fives. When somebody asked about the Awake Fives, that Bape camo, that same Bape camo that matches the Awake Fives will also match these Travis Scotts. Now, don't take my idea, y'all. But yeah, um I'm throwing on the Bape camo with them Travis Scott. So I feel like I kind of need to get those two, just for that simple fact. Those are okay to me. I don't like them as much as the um other one, but like they just the fit. I'm gonna be able to pull off such a crazy fit that I feel like I need them. So um it's kind of like the same thing I was thinking with the Awake Fives, but I think I like the Travises a little bit more than the Awakes. I don't know. I gotta really see them. I gotta get them in hand. So can't wait until them details get out there, and you know what I mean. I can get some early pairs. The early pairs gonna be, gonna be expensive, but got to do that review for y'all. But let's see what y'all said. So for running shoes, it's like yes and no. Like I don't really like. I do have some running shoes. I have Air Maxes, but I don't really use them for running. So I just I just got Air Maxes because I like Air Maxes and they just happen to be running shoes. But I don't really get them for the purpose of running. So it's kind of like no, if you know what I mean. Like I own them, but like I said, that's not what I got them for. Um, so I'm not even sure. I'd have to look up what the Adidas Light Blaze are. Let me see what they are. I'm about to check them out. Oh my gosh, they just suspended one of my fantasy players. Damn, NBA, y'all playing right now. Actually, this don't matter. Actually, I'm in a tight matchup right now. If y'all do fantasy, I know it ends. It's weird. Like I'm in a weekly thing, so it ends today. Let's see how we did. How we did. Up 30. All right, looking good for my for my fantasy team. We should get the win. Guy I'm playing this week, he's undefeated. So I mean, we about to take that first place spot over. What was I about to look up? Lost my train of thought. What did y'all say that I was gonna look up? Oh yeah, Adidas Light Blaze. Uh, I'm trying to look at more pictures of them before I really like judge them. Um, I mean they're not really my cup of tea, but they're not bad. Like some of these colorways, I for me though. Some of these look like well, I want to say they look like the Yeezys, but then they kind of not really. Um, Gamma restock or not happening. At this point, I wouldn't expect it, but I would not be surprised if they did have some more pairs to restock. If that makes sense, like I'm sure they do. Um, let me think. Let me think. They came out the when they came out the 13th. Nah, they. I'm sure they still got some pairs to restock. Um, I don't know though. See a shoe like that, like I feel like they'd probably let off. Now they gotta have something left, but I feel like they probably got rid of majority of their stock before the holidays, just because like that's the intention of the large amount of stock. So they probably do have pairs left, but I don't know how many. Um, so I I don't know. Like it's kind of tough because they did. I'm looking at it, like they only came out 17 days ago, and shoes really like it's you'd be surprised. I mean, like because Nike just be having shoes, like you know what I mean. Like shoes be selling out, but they don't really be selling out. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure we've all seen a shoe restock well after like the shit came out here and there. It'd be random, it's rare, but like I don't know. So it's kind of hard to tell, but if you wanted the gammas and didn't get for hit for retail, um, and is trying to wait for a restock for them, I don't know. It might be over. However, um, if you're patient enough, I would still say wait it out a little bit. I'm not too confident that there will be any more restocks. There might be, but at the very least, while you're waiting on that, waiting to see that, the price should go down some more on the market. Because what are they at now? They're still they still went way crazier than I thought. They still stayed up crazier. They still stayed up um for longer and for more than I thought. But let's see where they at now. All right, so my size is god damn. It depends on what size you wear. My size went down a little bit, but I'm looking at like 12 and shit. That shit hasn't moved. Um, but yeah, I maybe wait it out a little bit if you're patient enough. But at the same time, if you're getting impatient on them and you're in that situation where you want them for retail and you're trying to wait for a restock, and you're like I said, you're getting impatient. It might be okay to just pay the extra for them if you're okay with paying what they go for right now. But yeah, it's tough. My sneaker of the year is a My Money Dark Mocha, New Balance Age by my runner. Sneaker of the year Metallic Fives, Nike Pegasus Premium, the most comfortable shoe on the earth. Facts, Nike never sells. Yeah, man, they be holding shit, and then one day you'll be like, yeah, they'll be like, yeah, Nike restocked, and like a perfect example, a shoe like Black Hat Threes restocked. I'm sorry, not restocked. Black Hat Threes released in January of this year, right? Like I know for sure Nike has Nike definitely has pairs of those. The shoe came out 12 months, 11 months ago. Why they hold on to these pairs, I'm not 100% sure. Part of me thinks it's kind of cool, but it's just like it should be random because like they'll fuck around and restocking them shits in like April of next year or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I don't, because I've like for example like Flu Game 12s is a perfect example of these shits. I don't know if it was. Nah, it has to be. Yeah. Flu Game 12s came out in what, March, February? I think it was March. I want to say it was March 1st. Um, they came out in March, but I hit a restock on them shits in like, yo, I don't know what month it was, but it was. I remember seeing them shits and I was like, these restocked, like, and it wasn't like one of them popular ass like really known like every sneaker blog posted oh restock on Flu Games. It was like some low key shit, and they restocked and I got them and I'm like, what the fuck is this like? And there's been a couple of other um releases that like just they just randomly pop up and um and you could get them. You only going for one pair next year. I, that's you. What do I say? Like that would be really tough for me because there's so much shit dropping next year. I was actually gonna get into that next week. That was gonna be like my topic for next week's live, like what we're looking forward to for next year. Cause man, there's a lot of shit. But True Blue Threes is, you know what I mean, those one of them ones. I don't think the Gamma's gonna move in a 13, just like them Jubilee 11s. Yeah, it's them big sizes get tricky. So, um, who would ask that question? Oh, Mo 532. Yeah, Mo 532. I'm hoping that you have. I'm hoping you have like a smaller foot. And when I say small, I hope smaller men's because them kid sizes is fucking ridiculous. The bigger kid sizes. So depend on what size you're looking for. But I hope if you wear like if you wear like my size, um, that'd be good because those have already dropped a good. Them bitch, my size was like 360. Uh, shit, a week or so ago, a week or two ago. Um, they're 311 now on Goat. So like, I feel like in a couple of weeks they might be 300, 290. You know. Um, but yeah, like my man said in the chat, that 13 might just sit there. That 12, the 11 maybe, you know. But once you get to like 10, 10 and a half and below, you might get a little lucky. They said, bro, go get you some food. Yeah, I'm deaf hungry. But like I said, I love talking to y'all. I said I was going to get some food like probably like 20, 30 minutes ago. But, you know what I mean? I got plenty of time to eat. It's early. They got to keep the interest. It wouldn't stop me, but I know some people would stop buying retros if they were as available as some Converses. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not gonna stop me either. Like I buy these shoes because I like these shoes, and I don't really give a fuck about like how limited a shoe is. Um, when it comes to me getting a shoe, now I will say I do gravitate towards wearing shoes that I don't see every day. So, for example, if a shoe is sitting in stores, it's not even about shoe sitting in stores. Well, I mean that plays a role in it too. But when I say seeing it, I mean seeing it in general. So, for example, if it's a shoe that recently released, because everybody gets Jordans, you know what I mean? Like even the limited releases, even these shits that's supposed to be released. You know how many fucking people got these? A lot of people got these. They're not something you see every day, but think about it. Mad people got these. Um, so when a shoe is newly released, and that's what I love about early pairs. Like that's what made me fall. What made me fall in love with early pairs is I like wearing shit that other people can't or like just don't have. You know, and unfortunately, I like Jordans that a lot of other people like, and as contradictory as it sounds, even though I like being unique and not wearing shit other people wear, I also don't care that so many other people wear Jordans because I like them too. So the way I kind of, you know, I guess combine those contradictory feelings is I'm gonna buy all the Jordans I like, not giving a fuck how many people have them, how many pairs are made. If I like them, I'm gonna buy them. Now, what I do is I try to wear the shoes that I don't see every day. For example, so like if I'm going to get dressed right now, I'm gonna look up my collection, and obviously depending on what I'm doing, the weather and certain stuff will dictate what I wear. But when it comes down to it, when it comes, within those parameters or constraints or whatever, I'm gonna gravitate towards the shoes that I know I'm not gonna see every day for the most part. So like that'll be like for example, like the shoes that came out this year, I expect to see those a lot because people, a lot of people got them. A lot of people are wearing them. People like to wear their new shoes. Some of these shoes, like the fire, I've been talking about the Fire Reds all day. Fire Reds are still in some stores. I don't care that they're necessarily in the store still, but the fact that people are gonna walk into the store and see them, I'm not even people, me and me and everybody else. We're gonna walk into the store, we're gonna see them. You're gonna go outside and see them on people's feet. Like I don't want to wear something everybody else is wearing, even though my fit gonna be better than theirs. 9 times out of 10, like it don't matter. I'd rather wear, especially because like I have enough shoes to, and I have enough shoes like older shoes that I don't have to that I'm fortunate enough to be able to like wear other stuff. So I can fuck around and pull out, you know, the Kyrie Lucky Charms because I haven't seen nobody wear these in a while. You know what I mean? These came out in 2018. So yeah, let me throw these on. Whereas like my Fire Reds, I definitely wore those mad times before they came out because I had to get those early. But like now that they're released, like those stay in the box for at least a year. To be honest, like I might. I might just have the urge to wear them one day because I love them so much. But like if I can, I'm not gonna wear those for a while because I want other people to fuck they shits up and then for me to wear them. I'd rather wear like Lightning 4s or something like that. Lightning 4s came out what 5 years ago. Is that 2020? No, 2021. I think. No, I'm bugging. Those was 2022 or 2021. It wasn't 2020. Got to look it up again. I'm gonna guess. Hold on, let me guess before I look it up. They had to be 20. I'm gonna guess 2021, but I'm kind of doubting myself. Yeah, 2021. Fuck am I talking about? Doubting myself. Nah, but yeah, you know what I mean. Like Lightnings came out basically 5 years ago at this point. By next week, there'll be almost 5-year-old shoe. Not really a 5-year-old shoe completely, but based on the year, it's gonna be 2026. Came out 2021. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like I'd rather wear something like that I don't see those every day anymore. You know what I mean? Like there was a point back in 2021, I was seeing those all the time, and I got my pair and I stashed them because I didn't want to be wearing what everybody's wearing. But now they've been out for a couple of years. People done wore them. They fucked them up. They done sold them. They using them as play shoes, as we used to call them. Now I want to wear mine because I've always liked this shoe, but now I can appreciate wearing them more because I can wear them outside, and 9 times out of 10, I'm not gonna see nobody else look with the same shoes as me. And yeah, they might have them, or they might have been able to say, "Oh, I had those, or I have them," but you're not wearing them right now, and you did not look as good as I look wearing them right now. So that's how I like to feel when I dress. Um, I know for 2026, I want the forest green 14s and UNC fives. Yeah, UNC fives is probably number one for me next year. Um, of the three, which was the best? Jordan 1 High, Shattered Backboard, UNC Reimagine, or Black Toe Reimagine? Um, in my opinion, I'm gonna say Shattered Backboard. I Yeah, no love for the concrete boards or black cats. I thought, it was crazy before I did the thumbnail earlier. I actually pulled out the black cats to do it, and I was looking at the other four, and I was just like, yo, low key, the black cats kind of don't belong. Like, and I wanted to throw them up there because I felt like they should. And the only reason I say they don't belong is because like when I looked at them next to the Gammas and the Brick by Bricks and even the Undefeateds and the Metallics, definitely all the other four of those really specifically. Nah, I'm gonna say all four of them because the Undefeateds had demand. It was probably a little bit more low key than the other three, but um, we just seen how crazy the fucking Gamma's demand was. Metallics was about the same as that. Brick by Bricks was a different type of demand, but um, that shit was crazy too. And I just feel like the Black Cats had demand, but I don't know if it was just short lived because the Gammas was right around the corner. But I felt like the Black Cats came out, they sold out real quick. You know, market for them, was up early and kind of stayed up. It didn't really drop too much. So it's clearly a heavy demand, and I think those are going to go up. I think they're going to have a really, I think they're going to be, you know, expensive in the near future. It's just kind of like similar to the way the 2020 pair went up. They're not going to go up to a band, I don't think. But I think they're going to shoot up pretty rapidly in comparison to a lot of other releases. But yeah, they I just felt like they didn't have that like because I'm just basing it on like I'm just thinking about like how to I'm just thinking back to the release day on all of those, and obviously like the farther we get from the release date, like it's harder for me to remember the Brick by Brick release compared to these other three that I'm talking about, but like or the Metallics, but like I even remember the Metallics. Like I thought that shoe was gonna be a walk in the park, and I'm telling people it's the same. It was the same thing for the Gammas, and I'm telling people like, yeah, Metallics, they're gonna be easy. Them bitches sold out. They shot up, and like it was just like It's just like 500. Like I never would have guessed them shits was 500, and I just felt like, how did a shoe? Y'all don't even like fives. How did them just? You know what I mean? Like, um, and I just feel like the Black Cats. I don't know. It's just the y'all. I don't know what it is. I just feel like the Black Cats, they just didn't hit as crazy as the other joints. But Concrete Boys, I'm glad you brought those up because nobody else said those in here tonight. That is another crazy shoe that I did not expect to go up. However, I didn't expect them to go to the price they did. That shoe's fire. You know what I mean? Like when I look at it, I'm like, okay, didn't see this coming, but I get it. It's a shoe we never seen before. Like, obviously that's the first time that colorway released, so it's not like we have other releases to compare it to be like, oh well, they didn't do this the first time. There was none of that. I think the biggest surprise on those, at least for me, is that like, I mean, I just if they were if it was if the Concrete Boy shits was a trying to think of somebody more popular than Yachty, then I would have been less surprised. Not that Yachty's a nobody. Like I know Yachty's popular, but like he's just not even at his peak right now. And it's not like that was the first pair of Concrete Boys forced to drop. Like yes, the colorway is way better, but like the fact that the white and navy pair dropped and nobody gave a fuck, it just shows that like the Concrete Boys branding was not the appeal for the other shoe. Like yeah, it might have pushed it a little bit, but obviously just looking at the way those went, like the gravitation was the colorway, and the colorway, like I said, is sick. Um, shit's fire. So yeah, I think that's definitely. I wouldn't say like it's the sneaker of the year, but definitely in the conversation. Um, I tend to wear older retros and save the new ones until later. That's exactly what I do. Shoe browser, because it only makes sense too. Because like your older shoes, like number one, besides the whole thing I just explained about like wanting to not wear what other people wear, like you got to get your wears out of your shoe before they fucking crumble. So especially me being that like especially being that I know that I've kept them in the box for a year or two. That's not really good for the shoe. Your shoes are gonna stay the strongest when you wear them more. So like, being that I know that, I'm honestly sacrificing a little bit of the life of my shoe by leaving them dead stock for a year or two. However, once I do start wearing them, I like to get as many wears as I can because I want to keep that midsole firm. So once a shoe's a couple of years old, it's like, yeah, I gotta wear you, and I gotta wear the rest of you who are just as old as you to maintain that midsole. Um, and that actually, as of recent, actually, I find myself on my older shoes. Like I feel like I feel like I look to wear my, twos, threes, fours, fives, uh, sixes, eights, nines, more than a lot of the other 14s, more than a lot of the other numbers because those are the ones that I know are gonna, crumble. Whereas, like some of my old ones, I still be wearing them though. That's the thing though. Like I know my um 94, 95 Bred ones is probably gonna be wearable for I'm not worried about those falling apart um like I am, and it's crazy because they're way older than these shits, but I'm not concerned about those falling apart the way I am my Quay 54 fives, Quay 54 fives is gonna be 15 years old by next year, those is like, oh no, I gotta wear you, I gotta get my wears out. Whereas like the Bred ones, I'm gonna wear them because I love them, but it's just like I don't look at them that way because I know the ones they're definitely way more they're gonna last longer. um Speaking of physical clothing brands you rock with, my favorite brands, my favorite brand is Bape. um But I be wearing honestly, I wear whatever look cool to me. I wear I mean they don't really make clothes no more, but I got a lot of Kid Robot. Kid Robot was my like Kid Robot and Bape was like my A and B for a large um for a long time. And then Kid Robot stopped making clothes. So but like I said, I loved Kid Robot so much for so long. I got a good amount of their shit. Um Ice Cream and BBC, pause, Billionaire Boys Club. I can't even say that. I can't even say the fucking acronym for that shit no more. I like Billionaire Boys Club, Ice Cream. What else do I wear? Um, I don't got as much because this shit is expensive. But if we want to get luxurious, I fuck with Louis Vuitton, fuck with Fendi. Um, Trying to think what else. I got a little Gucci, but I ain't really been fucking with them. They did some blackface design, and ever since then, I told myself I ain't gonna put no money in their pockets. So ever since then, as far as luxury brands, I've been doing just Louis and Fendi. But I don't have as much because, like I said, that shit's really expensive. So I spend enough on sneakers. So it's like here and there, I ain't gonna lie. I got to do a little Louis. I got to do a little Fendi, but um, definitely a lot more money goes into Bape as far as clothing because I'm gonna get way more pieces. um, what else? I do wear Supreme. I know I said no to Jordans. I don't even wear Supreme, but I resold so much Supreme that like I after a while I was just like, oh no, this is alright. I'm gonna just get this. You know what I mean? But it's just um. So yeah, I do a little Supreme. Um, what else? Nike, obviously. You know what I mean? Got my Nike Techs. I feel like I'm gonna look at my closet tomorrow and be like, yo, why the fuck I ain't name this? I feel like I'm not thinking of mad shit, but I feel like it's gotta be the mains for me. What else we said? Yeah, I hit on was it Foot Locker? Yeah, Foot Locker raffle for the metallics. Oreo fours, crazy. Oh, I don't know why I thought the white Oreo fours. Like, so the Oreo, what year Oreo fours you got, DS? Chambray sevens, my babies. Mm, I love the Chambray sevens. I actually don't. Um, I don't have no Hellstar or Denim Tears. Denim Tears just like that little flower design just never really appealed to me, and I don't know. I've never really like looked too deep into their shit, but I haven't really seen nothing from them I really like, so never got that. Um, Hellstar got some shit. Never got that. Um, Hellstar got some shit. A lot of their shit I see, I'm not really crazy about, but there's been a few things that I thought was cool, but I just not really enough to the point where I was like, oh, let me get it. So you know what I do? I don't have none yet, but I've been fucking with Who Decides War. I like a lot of they shit. Like I said, I haven't got none yet, but um, I like them. Um, yeah, and then there's obviously a couple of low key brands. Like shout out to my cousin ATM. Gotta thought if y'all see me with ATM shit on, that's my cousin Yui shit. At ATM, no, at ATM Clothing Co. _ on Instagram. ATM Yui. Um, let's see. I'm cheap with clothing, but I ball out on shoes. That's how I mean. That's how you got to do it. I ain't gonna lie. As men, like in comparison to women, like we it's harder to get away with like simple fits. Nah, I can't even say that. You just as a man, you got to know how to do it. But like, let me finish reading your comment because I think that's what I was about to say was what I think you was going the direction of. But let me not assume. I rock with fashion over True Religion. Yo, True Religion was my shit. The only reason I stopped getting True Religion, and I mean, it was really like I got into them because of the jeans. But actually, I think they make skinny jeans, but like I'm not even a I don't like skinny jeans if we being honest. Let me go there. But and I know I own skinny jeans, but it's just like I just like showing the shoe off. That's literally the only reason you gonna catch me with some pants that's fucking tight. You know what I mean? And I still gotta sag them because you know what I mean. I ain't trying to look. You know what I mean? But I just love showing my shoes off completely. That's what gravitated to me towards. But not True Religion. When True Religion was like the shit, I was on them. And then even when they died out, like I still had their shit. I was still wearing their shit. Um, but I outgrew a lot of my shits, and I forgot what I started buying by the time I outgrew the Trues. Because True Religions, Antiques, Rock and Republics. There was a point in time in my life where all my jeans, I had Levi's and the other brands I just named, and I remember them shits was to me like I remember saving up 100 and something for some jeans was crazy. I'm like, damn, bro, like, and asking my, you know what I mean, my mom was getting me the bread, you know what I mean, like, and I asked for truths. Like, them shits is what? Yeah, man, that was tough. On top of the fact that I'm already, you know what I mean, in the sneakers, like it's tough. But yeah, as men, this is what I was getting to. Um, like if you got the right shoes, like your fit could be simple as long as your shit is like you don't want nobody to hit you with the, this is what I was getting to before. As men, we always got to be ready for the what are those question. And I'm not talking about like your shoes necessarily, but like the what are those, like it just shows because if you notice like women not gonna get hit with that unless it's some shoes. Like if women got some shoes on that like nobody knows that people gonna hit them with the what are those? Like if they're sneakers, let me not even say shoes, sneakers. But and that the sneakers go for both genders. But when it comes to clothing, us as men, like you always got to be ready for the what is that type shit. You know, like basically the what are those for the rest of your fit. Like what brand is that? That's basically how I should say it. Um, as long as you got some shit on, like for example, like it don't gotta be expensive. You know what I mean? And it could be Fashion Nova. But like if you say like, oh yeah, this Fashion Nova, like as long as you got an answer, you're not gonna sound crazy. It's when you got some shit that like nobody ever heard of, like you know what I mean? Like that's when they're gonna clown you. But if your shit is fire and you confident in it, it's a whole different story. But yeah, yo, as long as your fit is fire, you're good. Like if you got a graphic tee, nobody really gonna ask you like what is that, like they see the fucking graphic on it unless it's like some random ass graphic. Even then, like if the shit match the shoes, they're not gonna ask you. I mean I did that with plenty of fits. um and that's the thing I love about dressing, like you could like it's so like vague and wide, like you could do so much with that shit. um he said some older staple pigeon about grad. Oh yeah, I read that already. I like Hurley and Columbia when it comes to shirts. Polo too. Burlington and Ross. Yeah, like as long as you don't like, as long as a man, as long as you don't be like, yeah, I got this from Target. Like you say some shit like that, unfortunately, they're gonna clown you. You know. But women though, women could say that shit. They be like, yeah, I got this from Target. This shit was like $3.99. But like, if she looked good, like nobody gonna clown her. You know what I mean? even if it's another woman who's not interested in women, they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's a deal, girl." Men is never gonna be on that shit. They're gonna be like, "What? You got that shit from Target? How much you pay for that? $3.99? Oh, this nigga broke." You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy how you know what I mean should be different, but and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I'm not gonna be the one to clown you. You know what I mean? It's just unfortunately there are people out there that's gonna try to play you for that, and you just got to be ready to have a response because 9 times out of 10 the person saying that's fucking dusty anyway. Like, I mean, if you got jokes, you could just fire back at them. But let's just say, think worst case scenario, you out with some fine shit and somebody want to hit you with the, "Oh, what is that?" and you ain't got no answer, you might look crazy in front of fine shit. You don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, part of me wants to say, listen, if she's that judgmental over the brands you wear, she ain't the right joint anyway. But you might just be trying to get the neck for the night. And if that's the case, like, listen, temporarily, you can't get embarrassed by the what is that. So, you know what I mean? Throw on the white tee for the day. You know what I mean? And then nobody gets you with that. Then tomorrow, when you not after you done killed, got the neck or whatever, I mean, then wear your t-shirt from Target or whatever. And somebody want to clown you, like, man, fuck it, like, get more hoes than you, get more money than you. Like, what are you talking about? My fit fly, man. This Target shirt go crazy with these Jordan 4s. Like, man, eat up. But really, girls wearing Von Dutch, Ed Hardy, and True Religion? Like now? Where you from? This is but yeah, that whole brand shit is like the brand shit is that's crazy. Like I didn't know True Religion was like um what's that called? Like I thought True Religion was just at a low point right now. Like obviously they still doing well enough to keep stores open because they still got the stores, but like nobody really wear it around here. And I feel like I always felt like New York kind of magnified them, and that could have just been me being from this area. But like when this area up here kind of stopped wearing them, I didn't think about that. Sometimes I gotta think outside the box and remember that there's other places in the world doing shit. That's why I love traveling. Not to get off topic, but that's fire. Cause yo, if I could fit a fucking 30-31 in jeans, yeah, I would be pulling out the old trues crazy. And I'm wearing them with like Jordan 12s or some shit. Cause I ain't gonna lie, back then I was getting the not the boot cut shits. Those was OD. But I forgot what cut I used to get because the True Religion always wanted to fucking call the cut like Billy, Bobby, Joey. Like they ain't never wanted to call the shit straight cut, boot cut. Like they always got some fun. And it's crazy because I forgot it now. But I remember like back in like 2008 2009 I could tell I knew what the fuck each of them shits was like. Oh yeah, the Billy jeans, those is the straight cuts, or the Joey's is the whatever. Like um but I don't remember what that is now. But um man, what and then antiques, yo, I ain't gonna, I might have to get them shits taken out. And nah, I don't even know if that'll work. I need pause, I need like an extra like 2 inches. No, I'm gonna need like three. Nah, I could probably get away with a 30. No, I need at least a 33, I think. I don't know. Nah, it is. And that's why I gotta, like, I should know better. like I travel too much, and I to not think about that. It's just like, you know what got me? It's, you said the top three brands. Like the fact that it's a top, you saying it's a top three brand for chicks. I think that's what really got me. Because obviously I know True Religion have obviously had to be some sort of relevant. Like I know people is buying it, like I said before, but like the fact that you said it's a top three brand, I think that was surprising me because I didn't know that, and I didn't, even though I'm not in South Carolina, I figured that's something I would have, like, possibly had some kind of idea about, but possibly had some kind of idea but that's what's interesting about the world. That just tells me I gotta go travel to South Carolina. Actually, I don't think I've ever stopped there. I've definitely been through the Carolinas, but mad times. But I don't think I've ever stopped there. And I got family there too. That's crazy. Shout out to my cousins, Justin and Tyler. They're not watching this, but shout out to the family. Babe too, billionaire. Jordan Brand got heat too. You know what's crazy about Jordan Brand? So Jordan Brand do got some heat, but I find myself not wanting to get it because I feel like I'm doing, like, how do I explain it? Like Jordan Brand be, I don't know. I feel like it's almost like too, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not too much, but like being that I have the Jordan shoes, I almost want the challenge of finding something that's another brand, obviously still the same color, to match these Jordan shoes. I feel like because part of me, what I think I get that idea from, and maybe I didn't word it the best, but like when I remember going into the stores, and they still do this now, going to the stores to buy the shoes like a Foot Locker, and then they got the matching Jordan fit for the shoes like right next to it. Like I just feel like damn near everybody who can pick these shoes up seen that fit. So for me to get that fit and wear it is just mad crazy. It just seems like I had no type of creativity. I did not have any kind of styling skills where I could, you know what I mean? Like it just seemed like I took the easy route. Um, so I think that is always like, and also too, I felt like because that was the way it was marketed, I'm like, nah, there's probably mad people with this fit, and that's it's not what I want. It's never what I want. So I think I've always like, it depends on what it is, but like as far as like when it comes to like getting fly, like casual shit, I kind of I found myself sleeping on the Jordan shit because I feel like it would just be too much with the fit. Depends on what it is though, because like when it comes to like basketball shorts, yeah, give me those. Even though I'm gonna play ball in Jordans most likely, it don't feel the same. But like when it comes to me just casually dressing, like I feel like the Jordan sneakers was actually, nah, I'm taking that back because I thought the Jordan sneakers on certain Jordan hoodies with the Jordan sneakers is flames. So it's just when you got the Jordan sneakers with the Jordan sweats and the Jordan top, like I don't know. And I don't know why, because I wouldn't feel that way about Nike. I'll throw on that's weird now that I'm thinking about it. Throw on a whole fucking Nike tech, and I'll throw on some Nike sneakers, mostly Jordans usually. But I hear it now, I'll throw on some Nike sneakers, and it don't and like that. But for some reason with Jordans, like I don't know, maybe I need to reevaluate my thought process on that. Uh, my man said, "Cut into them shorts," but yeah, man, it's just like I gotta talk to somebody who really do that shit because I would love to wear some antiques in 2025 because nobody like let me not say nobody's wearing antiques, but like antiques don't even got a store open um if I'm not mistaken. So I'm pretty sure nobody's wearing antiques right now. Yo, if I could cut them shits, and I would definitely wear antiques in 2025. I'll be the only person, and I will. Don't let me start that shit. What? Don't let me bring the wave back. I would love to. Yeah, shit do be too easy. I used to get Jordan tees a lot back in the day. Hell yeah, me too. There was a point in time where it's just like you go to buy the shoes and you in the store and you looking at the shirt and you like, Damn, nah, I need that. Like I remember when they did the New Love ones first time, and in the store they had a yellow T-shirt. New Love ones is the yellow and black mid Jordan ones, and this is before like mids was like not cool. Like we didn't really care. We didn't like them as much as highs, but like some mid colorways was fire and still are. But I feel like people be trying to trash them now. But anyway, I remember those came out and there was a yellow shirt and it had. Actually, I think they came in different colors, but I got the yellow one. It was like I think there was a black one too, and maybe even a white one. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was all three of those colors. But it had the shoe like on the shirt, and it might have had like some wings on the side of the shoe, whatever it was. I got the shoe, I got the shirt, and shit was fire to me. You know what I mean? Like I was a little kid though. I was just happy to have something that matched the shoes. I wasn't thinking like who was gonna be wearing the same shit as me. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that. But yeah, I remember like a lot of my shoes that I remember they dropped the Alpha ones. That's the like Carolina blue mid ones also. And they have like a picture of Jordan in the middle of the shoe, like driving to the basket or something like that. Those when I didn't get a shirt for those. Those I used to rock the Carolina jersey with those the UNC jersey. Um, Trying to think what else, but yeah, I remember just I'm trying to think what other Jordan tees. I remember getting a good amount of them on my kicks back in the day. The hundreds is cool. I've never had anything from Pleasures, the hundreds, and I've actually never had anything from North Face either or Obey. But I do fuck with the hundreds a little bit. I just never really grabbed none. Um, Jerseys, yeah, I'm a big jersey person, but um, jerseys is just like you can only wear them when it's hot. So that's the only thing. Like I've kind of fell back from buying them because it's just like I got enough, and it's just like I can't wear them all the time. That's tough. Hi, I know I said this like three times already, but I love chatting on here with y'all. But I'm about to get off here and finally get something to eat. So once again, I appreciate all y'all coming through. It was a great live, great talking to y'all, and going over sneaker of the year. So next week we'll be back at it again. I'm gonna try to do the same time, most likely between 7:30 and 8. I'll try to get it closer to 7:30. I feel like that was a more convenient time for people, and that way we're not up as late chatting, especially for my East Coast people. I mean, it's only 10 o'clock, but if you got work or school in the morning, depending on, you know, I want to keep y'all up. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, next week we're gonna go over you know, the next year's the rumored release for 2026, which ones we're most excited about, um, and just go from there. So, like I said, thank y'all again for coming in, and I hope to see you all next week, and keep doing our thing. Thank you guys. Yes, sir.